So, hey, good afternoon. This is VAPA Artist Talk. My name is Brenda Pinkston. I'm filling in for Shalise, the wonderful Shalise. Um, so, forgive me if I don't do it perfect, but I'm happy to do it. And we're going to start off with these wonderful artists here. We have, if you can introduce yourself.
Oh, sure. Michael Frank. I think everybody knows me. Not going to say anything else. No, I am a BAPA resident tenant and have a studio downstairs, as most of you know, and you're all invited to come visit me whenever you want. But today's a good day because it's open studio day. I live in Charlotte, moved here 9 years ago. And before that, I lived in wonderful New Jersey, um, Maplewood. We raised our kids in Maplewood, and then we moved down here after I retired in 2014. I took early retirement so that I could concentrate on my artwork. My career was for 29 years. I worked at the Metropolitan Museum of Art as the production stage manager. I did this kind of thing all the time, um, and did gallery concerts and setups and all that good stuff. So that was a great job. Met some great people, some very talented people, and I have some really good stories. If you're interested.
Hello, I'm Emily Little, and I'm not nearly as experienced. It's very early in my art career. I'm still very young, but I'm a visual artist, mostly a painter. I work with oil and acrylic paints, and I've drawn my whole life. And I'm trying to get into more public art installations.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Teal Tallison. I am a classically trained oboist. I play with the Charlotte Symphony, and I'm also principal of the Rock Hill Symphony. But I also like to color outside the lines with my art and explore gamified music. So I'm the executive director of Phoenix Down RPG, where we do music very differently. We do stuff with video game music, where we arrange video game music and we play it paired with trivia. We also compose music and record it for tabletop games, which some of that will be played a little bit later, and even more stuff that I'm going to share just a little bit later.
Okay, wonderful. So, we're going to get right into the questions. So, um, is there another career or daily life interruption from your art? So I guess do you do anything else other than your
Oh, I'll go first, I guess. No.
art? Okay. Emily?
Jealous of Michael, but I recently left my full-time position as an environmental health and safety officer at a place that makes balers and trash compactors, trying to find a job that I can balance my art career more with, either a part-time position or a less stressful full-time position, trying to get that transition and get my art career really going.
So I'm also the learning programs manager at Opera Carolina. That's my day job, where I get to work with youth and growing musicians and help them along their path. So I wouldn't call it really an interruption. It's just another aspect of what I do, like that. This is replays, yes.
That
But
was a
yeah,
sneak peek of Till's music.
so it's just allows me to explore other assets of stuff that I enjoy and helping other young musicians along their path. But balancing between all the things I do is very stressful, and that's why I love Google Calendar. Not sponsored, but I would be. Um,
So just to talk a little bit about your childhood, um,
My
growing up
child.
in
Okay.
in the household of art, or how you were
I
influenced as a child.
uh, did you get that? I My art story is that when I was 10 years old, my mother was a painter, and she attended a class every Wednesday night. And the teacher asked the class if they could invite a young person to come in and pose for the class. And my mom asked me if I wanted to do it. And I, of course, said Absolutely. Why not? So every Wednesday night for about 4 weeks, I would go in and sit for an hour, which wasn't easy for a 10-year-old. I was 10 years old. And they would paint me. And there were six other women artists painting me. And uh, the funny thing was that the teacher put a baseball cap, like askance, on my head, gave me a baseball bat to hold, and said to the class, "Imagine he's in the woods sitting on a bench." Well, my mother would not have any of that. So she painted me without the baseball hat, just me with my hair in my face and my t shirt on. And that was the first time I experienced seeing other artists work, and I was blown away. And I said, "This is what I want to grow up and be." And here I am. I grew up and I am an artist.
Wonderful.
I grew up with my mother was an in-house nanny for several children from several different families locally, and she always had activities set up for us, arts and crafts. I love the little beads that you would iron, all sorts of activities. And I also was blessed to grow up with like a whole craft dresser in my room that I always had free reign of, and I could dig into pom poms and construction paper and all sorts of things. And having all those mediums that I could do anything I wanted with from such a young age really expanded my horizons as far as what you could create. And so I was definitely supported in creating arts all growing up. And while it wasn't supported as a potential career path so much by my parents, it was definitely supported to me just to create in general. And I would get praised through my creations at least.
So I grew up in a single parent household where my mom worked really hard to pay the bills, and she knew that playing music was linked to early brain development. So she made sure that I started playing mostly just because she wanted me to have a hobby, I think. And little did she know that it was going to turn into my career. We moved around a lot when I was younger, and when we moved to Louisville, Kentucky, I know Louisville. She says Louisville. Um, I saw somebody playing an oboe for the first time because I was playing clarinet, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's one of them. I want to play that weird looking instrument. And so I switched. It was like right during my eighth grade year, and I was looking at high schools because in Louisville, it's a magnet program where you have to apply for your high school. And I was auditioning for the Youth Performing Arts School, which was really difficult to get in. I had only been playing for 4 months. I dropped my oboe the day of the audition. You know, things just like kept going worse and worse. But they had me audition on oboe and clarinet, and they wanted to take me on clarinet. And the band director still loves to say this to this day. I told them, if you don't take me on oboe, you don't get me at all. And so I actually got in, and I got to study oboe, and I've just continued to make that my passion and career.
Nice. Okay, so we're talking about the process of your art. How does your background contribute to the process of what it is you like the
I
process
just
of art?
want to kind of curve a little and take a moment to riff on what Teal said. Music is very, very important to the making of art.
Oh yeah,
And I don't know many artists who don't listen to music when they're making art.
true.
Um, and just as an aside, our son, Dylan, who goes by Day Day, a shout out to Day Day, is a musician, a really, really good one, and has made a career of his work out in LA and started in Chicago. He's a percussionist and classically trained as a percussionist at Northwestern University, and then went off and started writing beats for hip hop music. Pretty cool. So he's my sort of claim to fame. He's a better artist than me. What was the question?
The process of your art. How does your background?
Oh, okay. Well, my process is very take from here, take from there. One of my favorite hero artists is Robert Rauschenberg, and he used to dumpster dive and find things that were, that he could repurpose in his art. Um, and I was telling this story earlier today. He lived near a taxidermist and would go into the store and ask the guy if he had any stuff. that he could give him to work on his art. And he gave him this goat. And Rauschenberg, being Rauschenberg, took the goat, put it on a collaged platform, and put a tire around the goat. And this has become a very famous signature piece for Robert Rauschenberg. Incredible. So that's what I mean. I don't work with goats, but I
A lot of
take I
art.
take a lot of paper, a lot of photos, a lot of things I find to add texture, like any collage artist would do. Just finding things that I think would be interesting to use.
So the goat, a live goat.
No, it was not a lie. It was a stuffed goat,
Okay.
taxidermy. It was a stuffed goat.
Thank you.
Okay. He also used eagles and yeah, okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
You- I'd say my artistic background was shaped a lot by what I was telling you about how I grew up with all those kids and all the art activities, not having like a set goal for my art and just giving all these kids all these things to work with and free for all. It helps me not have a goal with my art and just tap into that childlike freedom and just create for the sake of creating rather than trying to get a perfect image. So I really appreciate how that freedom has allowed me to not be a total perfectionist with all of my art and just paint what I want to paint and not worry too much about the finished product.
Well, as a classical musician, you're taught to try to be perfect when you play. You have hundreds of years of recordings to live up to, and if you want to win a job playing with an orchestra, you better be able to play how, Joe Schmo played 50 years ago. And that really burned me out, and also my partner, where we got really sad and we disconnected from music for a while because it wasn't fun anymore. Trying to be perfect when you can really never be perfect is an awful feeling. And that's actually what led us into starting Phoenix Down Art because we studies people playing on music for 2 years and decided that we wanted to make something for other people. It wasn't about being perfect, it was about bringing out what we wanted to do and really connecting with the joy that other people have with music or that we have with music. And really, that's how my background has influenced how I create. So I prioritize fun over perfect.
Me too. Love to have fun.
Dialogue, logic reasoning. You invite the inner child to come create.
For sure. Definitely.
Definitely is for me.
The inner child. You have to connect with your inner child. Because it's I think playfulness, humor, worship, and I try to incorporate those things that create a true inner person that needs each other. That's it.
So where dialogue comes from. So music is your favorite story. Expressing yourself in music
Brush stroke.
is music. Since when did you my inner dialogue is a lot of expletives. As I mentioned, I'm an oboist. I make oboist. I make everything musically. So I often spend a lot of time in oboe music with music inside of me. Why do I scream again? I have to take a walk, come back to it when I've cleared my head. So I'm still working on the process aspect to try to be a little less a little less expletive about
Sure, sure. No, that goes back to being a therapist. What do you do to keep motivated and so that you can free up your mind, from thinking about things that get in your way? And meditation is great for that. Reiki, Tai Chi, which is great for that. And just not waiting for the inspiration,
Mm.
just going into your studio and starting to do stuff. So couple months ago, I sat in on Kevin and Arthur and Brian's talk, and they kept saying, "Just paint, damn it, just paint." And that's the idea. You go in and just do it. Not to, I mean, Nike stole that from us. You just got to go in and paint. Yeah, just get it going.
Yeah, when I think of play with my art, I think of it associated with my emotion most of all. Like, I just need to get to that excitement, and that could be something that catches my eye when I'm walking around, like a pattern in a rock or the relationship between lines and architecture, or I can get excited to convey a message of a lesson I've learned in my journey that I want others to relate to or to learn that lesson if they haven't yet for themselves. But I just, it starts with that excitement for me. And that's what I think of when it comes to play with my art and playing with new mediums because I get the most childlike excitement when it comes to working with new mediums for the very first time. It's very exciting. The opportunities are endless.
I would actually agree on that too. Excitement is a huge key of learning how to play with your art. I really like to daydream about combining art in different ways that I haven't seen before, which is how I started to name that tune with Phoenix Down, where we play video game music and we pair it with trivia, or like our most recent program, which is called Campfire Tales, which combines live tabletop gaming with interactive improvisatory music. So I really just love playing in a way of creating something that I haven't seen before and then making it happen, which is the scary part and the fun part.
Nice. Okay, what artists do you look up to, and are any of these people mentors or inspire you?
Mm. Well, I mentioned Rauschenberg
Yes.
earlier.
Mhm.
I aspire to, yeah, he's been a mentor for many years. But also going back to the old masters, surprisingly enough, I mean, someone was in my studio earlier today and saw the Michelangelo poster on my wall, and she said, "So, you like that guy too?" After looking at my work, and I just love the old masters. I'm a big fan of Da Vinci. I'm a big fan of, Holbein and Dürer. The way that they could draw
Mhm.
just pulls me in, and I want to draw like that. Sometimes I do, most of the time I don't.
Yeah, you definitely got to credit all the artists that came before us just because they've done such a good job of paving the path for us and shaping the way all of our minds think, whether we're artists or not, because it's really influenced the way everyone thinks. But I'd say that, what was the question?
Favorite artist.
Favorite artist. I don't have one mentor, but all of my local artists that I'm friends with, I go to them for advice with a lot of different things, and they're each kind of my mentor in one way or another, but not just one mentor. Take from everyone.
Yes, take from everybody of all different kinds of mediums. As a musician, I'm really inspired by the teachers I've studied with, which is, why I studied with them. Jennifer Potocnik in Louisville and Jeff Rathbun in Cleveland. Um, I also tell stories as part of the tabletop gaming aspect, so I'm really inspired by Matt Mercer, who is known as like the dungeon master. But I also am just inspired by the incredible creative community that we have in Charlotte. There's so many fantastic artists and musicians that I get inspired every day just by seeing what they're creating and then dreaming of what I can manifest and make work and create together.
Also, how do you avoid writer's block?
You can't avoid writer's block. It happens. But it happens most of the time. So I guess the question is, how do you push through that? I listen to music and come here to Vapa to schmooze with my buddies, my art buddies. I can sit and be on Instagram and just kind of get inspired and stuff from there or YouTube. But really, music is my favorite thing to get inspired
Like Michael said, there's no way to completely avoid it, but I found for myself that I get writer's block when I'm most comparing myself to other artists, having negative self-talks and combating that with replacing jealousy with insightful, progressive socialist, essential artist words that I noticed what work for my writing was using jealousy as a tool to see if I was right and in turn also advice by having which is not a great answer. I find that if I have so many things to do, I don't have a lot of time to think or also my personal self-discipline takes that time with the work that I'm doing to center myself, center more on what's the art aspect of it. So self-discipline practice
Let's get back to the topic.
because jealousy is
jealousy is a backward side. When you get that little, I want that.
No, I disagree with that.
you
But
disagree with
yeah,
that.
but
Okay.
I would rather use the
Because
word
it's
envy.
different doesn't mean that's bad.
Well, I mean, I think we all have to have a critical eye. For me, just to look back on my work, what I'm able to do you have to revisit
Fear.
I think my only fear when I'm creating is that it won't come out the way I want it to. So, I mean, the only way to work past that is to keep pushing through it and keep asking those questions of what don't I like about this? What do I want? How can I make it look the way I want it to? So,
I mean, I feel fear all the time when I play. Is this going to be in tune? Is this note going to respond? Is it going to be balanced? It's all of these different like levels that you're thinking about while you're actually creating the music. So I try to take myself a little outside my body while I'm playing and remember that people are there to enjoy. They're usually not there critiquing and saying, "Oh, well, that oboe was 5 cents flat on this note. Terrible concert." And it's just remembering that it's all about play and having fun, and that's why we got into music and art in the first place.
I think for me, fear is a very debilitating emotion. in many ways. I mean, I was more afraid doing this than I am going into my studio. Artists don't really like to talk about themselves or their work, but
That's true.
I guess my biggest fear is if you have a show or if you have a thing like this and nobody shows up, right?
Yes.
That's terrible.
So thanks for showing up, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you. I set her up for that.
Do you have any favorite hidden gems in Charlotte? Places you feel cozy, places you go to help your brain unwind.
No,
You don't
no,
go?
yeah, of course,
You're
here,
just
here.
at the house.
Thank you,
Oh,
Arthur.
Papa.
No, of course, Vapa. Uh, no, coming. I mean, it's really incredible what this place, Vapa, supplies, and what Arthur and Joanne, the gallery director at 9889 down the hall there, just incredible things that they've done. They recently got recognized for it at the Vision Awards. Yay, yay, yay.
Big hand of
Yeah,
applause for that.
and I was luckily I was there to experience this, which was it was a great evening, and we had three tables of folks, four tables of folks that were supporting VAPA, and some of the things that were said, and some of the people who were there, just an incredible uh, admiration and validation for this community. And let's talk about community for a second. The wall behind me, that's what it spells, in case you were wondering. And that was done, each letter was done by an artist who has a studio here at VAPA, tenant at VAPA. And it's just, that's what it's all about, community, about talking to people, hugging people, seeing each other's work, and sharing each other's stories. It's fantastic.
It is.
Thank you.
I'm a homebody, so I usually create in my own house or backyard, but I sometimes like to meet my creative friends at local parks or something to create together. And I really need to be more active in the community in places like this because we are so blessed in Charlotte to have such an active arts community and have these spaces. So I really need to check out the resources available to me more.
Well, I do most of my prep work at home, which means a lot of time spent with my cat Loki. And then when I'm not there, usually I'm playing on stages such as the Belk Theater, the Night, or in breweries, which is my favorite. Um, but it's less about finding places that feel cozy to me than people that feel cozy. I really like to refill creatively by being around creative and wonderful people.
Nice. Well, we're here.
You're
This
still
is
not close enough.
okay. So,
Make sure
is this
I hear
sorry. What is the significant difference when you became a full-time artist
you. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I wasn't full time artist until I worked here. I got to juggle lawyer duties, made up of many hours a week, sometimes as many as 60. A lot of overtime, a lot of weekends. My kids, they were always, "You're never around, Dad. What do you know? Don't tell me what to do." And they were listening. Catherine and Courtney, they were listening. But it got in the way. I mean, I had a studio, and I tried to get in there, but it was very difficult. And now I don't need to try. Now I just do it. So more time for everybody.
Yes, please teach me how. I'm still a part-time artist. I've been working hard to become more of a full-time artist, but since I made that commitment, the only thing that's going to change is that I'll be able
I don't know if that really had much of a change between being part-time and full-time artistry, just because I staff my calendar so no matter what, it's really just being able to prioritize and do the right things now.
I feel it at this point.
you're a full-time artist?
I have two full-time jobs. One is music performing, the other one is
father was a star for his artist career. But he really appreciated the other and had an appreciation for art. And then when I went to art school, taking a class about abstract art turned him on to this whole new world of creativity. He was so appreciative that he became an expert, whenever we were talking to anybody else. And paid for my graduate school.
Putting forth the most authentic expression of yourself will get you far and you'll be rewarded for that.
For me, I'd say it's about staying connected to your passion. I remember my mom has always been very supportive of my art, but it was actually my oboe teacher that said, if you can pick any other career besides music, do that. And that was literally the day I decided to be a professional musician.
I've heard
That's
that before.
funny.
And it wasn't really to spite her at all. And she didn't say it being mean either, because she saw how difficult it was being an orchestral musician. And I decided that, I love doing this. I love telling stories through my music. And that's why I decided to study it. And really, just as young artists, it's important to stay connected to your passion and understand that your goal in your life trajectory may change. And that's not bad, that's great. Your success will look different from somebody else's success, and that's what's beautiful about it.
Yeah, that's
Well
okay.
put. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
So, is there any shameless plugs or upcoming events or
Well,
that
I
you
want to
have?
take off on that for a minute about passion
Okay.
because I don't know, Arthur, if you have that video that I sent or not, but you can't know. Okay. I have been working with another artist I'm a collaborator. I've been working with another artist by the name of Gerard Amselem. He's a French artist up north. And we put together a collaboration that we call Visual Passion. So we're the Visual Passion duo. And that's what we do. We paint pictures together at the same time, attack the substrate, and we've been painting on doors actually, doors that we've gotten from Home Depot,
Hmm.
hollow core doors for a long time. Have a bunch of pieces together. So now I've kind of transferred that down here, and I'm painting now with Barbara Ellis, who is a fantastic artist, also a tenant here at VAPA. But we discovered each other at Clearwater, which is where your wife has a studio, Louise Farley, a great painter. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Clearwater Artist Studios in Concord, but you should if you haven't. It's a great, really great place. Sarah Gay is a wonderful manager and has done amazing things up there. Another plug for, I wasn't really meaning to plug that. Yeah, checking the mail from Sarah. But I'm also doing collaboration with Tina, who's here, Tina Alberni. We are collaborating on 6x6 collages. I do one, give her that one. She answers it with another. She gives me another. So it's an exchange of, it's a conversation basically. We
Nice.
call it the frag conversation, and which relates back to my experience with Global Art Project, which I'm a member of, have been since 2018, and that really got me going. Talk about passion and mentors and other artists who are involved in similar, paths and stuff. We have a frag exchange program, which consists of putting fragments of stuff, usually magazine cutouts and or paintings that we ripped up or drawings, put them in envelopes and mail them to each other. and then use them in another piece. So I go out to the mailbox and I see something from Belgium, and it's like Christmas in July. I love it. And then I create a new piece, and it just goes on like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah,
Oh, and talk about plugs.
yes.
In November, Joanne Rogers and I, are putting together an exhibition called Crossing Borders, We Are All Immigrants, which is what's on my T-shirt, just so happens. So this was a show originating in Belgium in 2019 that has to do with the title, immigration, crossing borders, but not just physical borders, your own kind of emotional, mental, psychological borders that you create for yourselves or that you push through as artists. And this show is going to be represented by Italy, Mexico, France, Belgium. I think it's like 18 different countries coming in. I'm already getting work. And I need a space, art to store all this stuff. So that's a beautiful show. Barbara and I, are doing a show in September with the help of Joanne again called The Big Ass Canvas Show. It's big ass canvases. They're about 9 feet by 6 feet. And we're trying to get 20 of them. And we're going to hang them from the ceiling in one stretch. So that should be fun. And that's September and November. And then that show leads into the Crossing Border show. So I'm kind of busy. Oh, wait, one more plug. I published a book Shifted Construction Plate. And you'll see the painting come up, which is that kind of yellowish piece, very abstract, with the blue stuff. That's the painting called Shifted Construction Plate. What it is, it's an ekphrasis project. Ekphrasis is what poetry is. It's a style of visual experience, visual painting. It writes poetry. So I'm going to tell what I sent. I'm sorry. I'm going to tell what I sent Gina paintings. Write a poem using the title. And that's put that which we did, and here's a plug. The book launch that here
have the Charlotte Boom Festival at Camp North End, where I'm hosting a collaborative group project where I have several painters signed up with time slots to live paint. Good experience.
Invited to. It's completely free. And the winner is actually a $50 gift card to Marshall's. We're gonna play music from all eras. I have some of the trivia. And that's actually why we're using a program called Salute, where as long as you listen to the answer quickly,
You might also win too. So really, there's no reason not to show up. Listen to live, amazing music. We've been featured at a bunch of different cons, including Origins and It's just going to be an amazing experience.
Where is it?
It's in Camp North End as well, near Hex Coffee. If you follow Phoenix Down RPG on Instagram, you can keep up with all of the fun stuff that we're doing. We have another Name That Tune tournament in May and June. And then in June, we're also doing a Super Smash tournament with Potions and Pixels where we will be playing the music live as the tournament goes on for the game. It's going to be amazing. And then later in October, we are releasing Campfire Tales to the greater community, where you can watch creatives play games together and listen to the interactive improvisatory music. If you've seen the pictures on the slides, which are all kind of like red, and you see a Jenga tower in there, that was from our soft release. And you can see that it was an amazing experience, completely ridiculous. And I hope to see you there. Oh, also, if you want to follow Phoenix Down RPG on Spotify, we have a lot of music up there. So if you don't want to buy our albums, you can at least listen to it, and we can get 0.00001 cents every time you
Right.
do.
I have one more.
Okay.
Sorry. Just came to me. And JoJo's part of it. Next Saturday, right in here, from 1 to 4, is the portrait painting Smackdown. And there will be 9 artists, and the audience who is here, whoever the audience is, will have tickets to vote for each artist. 3 rounds, start out with 9. Second round is 4, last round is 2, and that'll be the Smackdown. There'll be 1 left, and they will get the big prize, which I think is a gift certificate to Lowe's. Joanne is doing that with me, and I got a bag of goodies from the what's the name of the place down the street, the coffee shop, Queen City Grounds,
Okay.
down the street on 10th and Church. Um, Big bag of really cool stuff. So come to that if you can. Um, $15.
That sounds exciting.
Well, it's going to be exciting.
So, going back to Till, we actually have some of Till's music. Would you like to hear a little bit of it?
Yeah.
So we can hear a little bit of Till's music here. Very peaceful, inspiring. The one is called Fahrenheit. It's based off of a book I read back in the summer. So very unique. Lots of inspiration. So this next one is called Universe. And that game is learned from a group of native speakers in the United States and the Aboriginal. We get together for 2.5 days in the summer and we play all the instruments and we improvise and we practice. So that's not video game music, but I think we do have a video game based off of this performance. While he's looking for that, could you explain what that is? Video game, what did you say?
What is a video
Music?
game? Oh,
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 track.
trap. Oh, the music. It's the music they play while the video game is going. It's a good song. Is that all you? Over. It's really fun. That's great. I love it.
So we actually played that live at Temple's Edge. That was our first Name That Tune that we were able to do in Charlotte thanks to a HUG grant. So that is not a perfect recording, but it is a fun recording. That's the kind of music that you'll hear if you come out to one of our trivia events.
Cool.
Very nice. So at this time, we like to open questions up to the audience. Yes, sir.
Uh-oh.
Hold on one second. Let's get you a microphone.
Because it's being recorded, so people need to hear you. Arthur, this one? Okay. Well, you won't be on camera, but yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm intrigued about this idea of video game music and playing it. It's very new to me, and I'm really glad I'm here and hearing that from you. Um, I'm curious. One question I have is about the composers of this music. Are there composers who are well known in the industry for writing? Do you give them credit in
Absolutely.
your concerts?
Of course we do. That's part of our trivia
That's great.
questions,
Oh, okay.
which
The only
it's
two names I
incredible.
know from a half century ago, Brian Eno and Van Dyke Parks, although Van Dyke was more commercials than games.
One thing I love about video game music in general is that because there's such a big indie crowd and also established crowds, is that it is an incredibly diverse and beautiful community of composers. As a classical musician, if you see the kinds of works that like an orchestra plays, usually it's the same Eurocentric composers. But with video game music, there's a lot of women composers, there's a lot of different ethnicity composers. And so, yeah, there is so many people. And it's incredible at conventions when we play a tune and somebody will go, oh, that's a Koji Kondo. I know it immediately. So,
Mm.
yes, it's very well known and it is our trivia questions.
Anyone else have a question?
Just still on that same subject, what game has like the biggest collection of your favorite music?
All right, so I have a confession, and that's that I don't play video games right now. I know. And it's not because I don't want to. I love video games, but there's only so much time in the day. So I wind up watching a lot of streamers, which in a way it's like, oh, I'm supporting another artist. But music from particular video games that I love, Final Fantasy, hands down, amazing. Undertale, of course, Toby Fox, incredible composer. Uh, and I'm recently really falling in love with Kingdom Hearts music, which is my first exploration into that.
I'm completely clueless
About video games?
about
Yeah.
video games.
Well, you could come to our trivia and learn more about it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the invite. Any more questions? Any questions for the artists, the visual artists? Okay. Well,
Dates of those two collabs.
One's in North Beach.
Yeah, the Boom Festival is going on from April 26th, on Friday night, through Sunday the 28th at Camp North End. I'm Emily Little. I'm doing the. I'm filling up the time slots, so pretty much the whole time. Yeah.
Well, if you need another artist,
Yeah. You're welcome to join. I do have more time slots available if local
there's
painters
there
are
are a bunch
interested.
of them here who might
Yes,
want to
I do have
be
some.
involved.
So
Yeah.
I'm not sure how Shalice closes out the show,
You didn't
but
ask about our favorite color. That
what
was
is
one.
your
It's
what
one.
is your oh she
It's
does
it's
say that.
Shalice's favorite question,
Oh, okay.
and she usually starts out with favorite color, right?
So my look,
Yeah.
my favorite color is yellow. Why? Because of the sun.
Oh,
It
you just
makes me
stole my favorite.
happy.
No. Okay.
Oh, is that your
No,
favorite
no,
color?
no.
Okay, what's your favorite colors?
Mine is alizarin crimson. I never thought a color would get applause, but I love that color.
Oh, like emerald green.
Not teal. My my favorite color is actually burnt orange.
I like
It's a
that.
good color.
Okay.
Favorite key. Yeah.
Favorite key.
Mine's D minor.
It depends on the day and how many flats or sharps I want to play.
Or my key to my studio. That's one of my favorite keys. That was bad. I'm sorry.
Here at VAPA, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we like to thank everyone for coming out today, this afternoon, and here at VAPA. And my name again is Brenda Pinkston, and sitting in for Shalice.
And if you want to see Brenda's paintings, they're on the second floor, right?
Second floor,
Second
up below,
floor, all
across from
around in
Jazz
the hallways.
Arts.
Very, very good painter. Do you have a show up now?
Uh, nah, I had two shows recently, but no, everything is upstairs.
So
So
go upstairs on the second floor and see Brenda's work.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yes, she does.
Yeah, I do have a piece in the portrait hallway. We have portrait gallery.
Portrait gallery.
Yes. So come on up, take a peek. But thank everybody. Thank you all for coming up, coming
Thanks.
out, and
Yeah. And thank you, Brenda,
listening
for
to
sitting in.
us.
You did a good job. You did a good
My
job.
first time.
Her first time, she filled in for Chili's. Thank you,
And
guys.
thank you all.